Do you dig it? Cage sure does in this new October release. Welcome to the Comics Lagoon, where the Bulletproof Man makes his first appearance only a week after his very own show premieres. Cage number 1 is written by Gendy Tartakovsky. I do hope I did not butcher that name, but some last names can be hard to read. Stefan DiStefano did the inking, and Scott Wills did the coloring. This book was released Wednesday, October 5th, and retails for $3.99 before tax, with 24 pages inside. Cage is an ex-convict who has unbreakable skin and superior strength. So if he were to be shot at, the bullet would bounce right off. Or he can take a gun and just bend it right in half. Or basketball hoop, jump up, grab it, bend it right down. Intentional or unintentional. In this book, Cage is protecting the streets of Harlem as a hero for hire. The first issue of Cage refers to 70s comics, even having plot points from that time, such as the Dark Phoenix story from the X-Men. Cage is protecting his good old city Harlem from crime when he realizes that a lot of his friends and associates have suddenly disappeared. So it's now his job to find out what is actually happening, but he may have to deal with some various foes along the way. And that will create a very fun, goofy story, especially going along with the way the art and dialogue is done. While reading Cage, I enjoyed the cartoony aspect of it. There were various sections of art that I really enjoyed, such as a very fun splash panel within the first 3 pages, and then small details throughout the rest of the story. There was a silly tone through dialogue and art the entire time, such as the way words were present in dialogue, a way a bubble would be formed, or in art, big sound effects like boom, crash, and facial expression. The book is really lighthearted and fun, but at the same time, while it's full of these funny elements, there were a few sections that made me a little uncomfortable to read. For example, Luke Cage is in Chinatown waiting for his girlfriend, Misty Knight, to have dinner. And he waits and waits and waits, as is shown here. And he eventually becomes rather impatient and slams on the table, yelling, "Damn it, Misty Knight shouldn't stand up to me like that. Nobody stands up Cage like that. She should be here having dinner with me right now." And it made me uncomfortable because of the aggression he showed towards Misty. And it is, of course, a comic book, but the way he was so quick to be aggressive and loud like that, and he ended up going to her work to confront her of it. The way he showed aggression towards his girlfriend made me uncomfortable. Besides that one kind of unsettling section, it was overall, the characters were shown really well, and even in this first issue, there are handfuls of characters that show up, such as Black Mariah and Chemistro, the X, Mr. Fish, and Mace. Those are some of the enemies that show up. Or even Cyclops and Wolverine and Nightcrawler show up at one point in time. Right here, this was actually one of my favorite panels, where Cyclops takes up this entire page and he's just kind of angry, shooting out his laser. And then Wolverine and Nightcrawler are running over, and Wolverine's got his neck stretched out far and wide, It's pretty funny to look at. In terms of art, I was very pleased with multiple sections of the book. For example, the bank rollers, which are just a sample group of thugs, take up 2 entire pages, and they're rolling away from an exploding bank, which really caught my eye and made it look... It was very appealing to me. I'm a sucker for splash pages. Next was the way that some of the guttering was executed was very appealing to me. For example, in this page that my fingers are on, each block is kind of like just a little bit out of order, and Cage would also just like, he's in this section, but then he kicks that bank roller in the face, and he breaks through that one panel. Another very funny section, and very cartoony, it really speaks what this type of art is Cage reaches through some prison bars, and grabs a thug, and he pulls him through the, bars, and it indicates that the bars are tight enough that it pulls off all of his clothes, and he's dangling in the nude while Cage questions him, which was very humorous. And then the last page that I really did love was this one with Cyclops standing there in all of his glory, shooting a laser out, and he ends up hitting Cage, and Cage flies out. And I really do dig Genndy Tartakovsky's work and Stefan DeStefano's art, along with Scott Will's coloring. Altogether, I think they're going to make a really fun book that I'll be excited to read every month. Finally, for ratings on this book, I would give it a 7 out of 10. And this is because it does have... that one section did egg me off a little bit. But otherwise, it's all innocent, fun, cartoony book. And there are always parts to touch up on. But overall, it was one of the more fun books that I've read when reading comic books. And I was really into the art and also the voice characters give off the fun, cartoony vibe. That wraps it up for Cage number 1. I hope you dug it, and do tune in next time. Give some feedback. What did you think of my video? Let me know if you maybe do end up wanting to pick up the comic because of me. This has been the Comics Lagoon. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.